Legendary, baby. Jeff Davis Show, 13 December. Year of my Lord, 2018. Legendary. If you don't believe it, Google Jeff Davis Show. At least at the moment, the Jeff Davis Show Google search is an empire. The best news, the best information, the best entertainment on planet Earth, bar none, period. Fed, New World Order, criminal cops, drug war, terrorism, from the black nobility, British royal family, to the cop enforcers, and everything in between, baby. Jeff Davis Show, exposing it all, exposing them all. Google Jeff Davis Show while it's still available, because you never know. Now, this is another one of these YouTubes. 30 years research. I praise God I have the opportunity to do this over these internet forums currently, because I'm letting it all out on these YouTubes. I've been researching these subjects I talk about for 30 years, maybe longer, during my lifetime. Today's critical topic that you won't hear in the world order media or from the world order politicians or the world order religions. Right here in America. America's New World Order enforcers. U.S. policing. The biggest gang in American history. Right now, today, on this date. Now, if you watch the world order media and listen to the world order politicians, they'll tell you that the U.S. policing are a bunch of heroes. They'll find some little video clip of some cop pulling some guy out of a burning car and, oh, what a hero! What a hero! But the problem with the world order media and the world order politicians is they don't give you the rest of the story like the Jeff Davis Show does. Jeff Davis Show cuts right through that bullshit. The fact of the matter is U.S. policing is a terrorist organization, the biggest gang in America. Now, how can I say that, or why would I say that? Number one, I've been reporting on particularly Texas cop crimes for 30 years. Williamson County, Texas, law enforcement up here, just a few miles away from this broadcast. I have the evidence over years of people coming to the Jeff Davis Show to report how they've been terrorized by these people. Thousands of reports. Williamson County, Texas law enforcement. Complete criminal terrorist operation. 2015, two people were driving up in Williamson County. A black man and a retired Hispanic grandpa were pulled over suspiciously, jailed suspiciously, DUI suspiciously, and dead within a few hours. Found dead in the jail. Still no answers for those families. But that's just Williamson County, Texas law enforcement. Arguably the most criminal county in America, and the Jeff Davis Show has the evidence I'll match it with anybody who's around the country who thinks otherwise. But to expand this to the entire U.S. policing, number one, these people do cavity searches on Americans. They also perform asset forfeiture on Americans. And basically all that is, as far as the Jeff Davis show is concerned, is legalized armed robbery and sodomy on the side of the road. That's not very heroic. These are things that only Jeff Davis show will report on. The world order folks want you to believe cops are heroes because U.S. police are doing their dirty work for them. The U.S. cops kill 3 people a day. How many reports do you hear about that in the world order media? Now, to their credit, the Associated Press a few years ago conducted an investigation and found that U.S. policing was a revolving door of sexual predators. People who actually went out and sexually assaulted people and lost their license for a few months and then back on another police force a few months later, got their license reinstated and back on the. It was a Associated Press story called "Betrayed by the Badge." You can Google it. Betrayed by the Badge. Also, to their credit, the Atlanta Constitution Journal conducted a year-long investigation of police shootings in the state of Georgia. And during that period that they investigated, they found that there was 400 and some police shootings in Georgia. And it was determined through the autopsies and the different things that they looked at that 70 of those people were unarmed and shot in the back. Like the Walter Scott situation in North Carolina or South Carolina, wherever it was, where unfortunately for the cops and fortunately for the public, a bystander caught it on video of a cop I don't blame people in these, particularly black people, for being afraid of cops. If you because these people take off running or whatever, they could make a wrong move and they're dead that quick, shot in the back. 70 unarmed people, according to the Atlanta Constitution Journal, during a year-long investigation, found that 70 Georgians were unarmed and shot in the back, and they were all ruled justified by the Georgia police. They're literally getting away with murder. So for the few that get caught on video, God only knows how many people are being killed by cops that we'll never know about, because they just shoot people and then they investigate themselves and that's it. So basically, they're getting away with sodomy on the side of the road, cavity searches, asset forfeiture, legalized armed robbery on the side of the road. Many people have, if they like Sandra Bland or many people, Walter Scott, or these people here up there in Williamson County, and this is going on all around America. Sometimes a cop pullover is a death sentence. They're getting away with killing people, sodomizing people, robbing people of their resources. Oh, we think this is drug money, so we'll just steal it. These are the so-called heroes' activities after you see the cop hero videos on the world order controlled media. See, they want you to believe cops are good. That's what the world order does. They make the good guys the bad guys and the bad guys the good guys. The U.S. military right now are not good guys. They're pawns being used by international bankers, and they're expendable pawns at that, and so are cops, because they all use the same devaluing paper money as everybody else. They're just brainwashed and mind controlled, most of them. So, and number 3, the biggest reason why cops are probably, well, they're all equally wicked. But the fact is, U.S. policing are the henchmen, for the world's largest prison system ever known to mankind here in the United States of America, based on liberty and all that. And that's mainly due to drug war, terrorism. Now, how this applies to the world order, anybody with any free thinking or sense about them at all, should realize that bandits running around with guns and badges, pulling people over and ripping their cars apart and allegedly finding a little pot joint, a plant in somebody's car, taking them to jail and giving them a criminal record for the rest of their life is not good for society. Not in any way, shape, or form. No victim, no crime. You're just marking these people for nothing. Just for possessing a plant in their car. Personally, I would not do that to people. It wouldn't matter if being a cop was the last job in the world, I'd be homeless. I simply could not, regardless of the fucking law. People could say, well, that's the fucking law. Fuck the law. That's immoral, it's criminal, and quite frankly, it's evil to treat people that way. Jesus said, love thy neighbor. I don't think that's very loving. Or cavity searches or stealing their property on the side of the road. Now, how the U.S. policing or the New World Order enforcers is very simple. By going out and conducting their drug war on Americans, creating the largest prison system ever known in the history of mankind. Society doesn't benefit from that in no way, shape, or form, and it destroys that person's life that was jailed. Society doesn't benefit from it, but someone does. Allow me to control the money of a nation. I care not who makes its laws. Famous quote, Sir Mayor Rothschild, baby. International banking empire. They through the Federal Reserve Act and all these central banks and world banks and all IMFs and World Bank this, International Bank that, central banks all over the place. They finance all this. They finance them prisons where these cops are putting these people. And the judges and everybody, the whole wicked system, the criminal justice industrial complex. It's being financed. Just like wars are being financed. The infrastructure is being financed. Border security is being financed. Detention camps for immigrants. Welfare. Everything's being financed by bankers. After the appropriations bill comes through the Congress and signed by the banker agents, the Congress and the presidents, then the Fed bank prints the money with interest. So if you have a $20 billion DEA budget for an annual budget, it might be 24 or 25 billion by the time the bankers get through with it, because they're going to take their cut in interest. So basically, U.S. police are a henchman for these bankers, keeping them prisons full keeps that Fed bank printing. So the U.S. policing are New World Order enforcers. They push banker. They are the enforcers of banker schemes, and they're terrorizing Americans with cavity searches and asset forfeiture and drug raids that kill people and pets, and killing 3 people a day that we know of. That they're not even required to report shootings and killings. This is just what's being reported. I'm convinced that some of these people that are disappearing around America have ended up in the hands of cops killing them. Really, the Texas killing fields. Been a movie made about it. Investigation Discovery's done. The Jeff Davis show was out there and did a report on it on Periscope. For the last 30 years, there's been dozens and dozens of women who have either disappeared or their dead bodies found dumped in Texas swamps along I-45 from Houston to Galveston Island. And even one of the lead detectives for the Texas City Police is suspicious that it may be Texas cops, because many of these victims, their cars were found on the side of the road like they had been pulled over. It'd be real easy to do. You're a psychopath cop, see a pretty woman driving by, you just pull her over. There's nothing, she's helpless. You've got guns and the alleged authority. So cops are killing people all over the country and caging people for unethical, immoral situations. The world would be, I don't know the history of American policing, but I know it today. And it's the U.S. policing is the biggest gang in America today. Forget this bullshit. See, they'll peddle this, whatever the alleged gangs from Mexico and stuff. Shit, cops are killing more people. The cops are the biggest threat to your liberty and freedom than anybody in America. You're 8 times more likely to be killed by a U.S. cop than a quote-unquote terrorist. And then again, the Associated Press story, Betrayed by the Badge, is a good read. Thousands of cop rapists on force. Atlanta Constitution Journal is a good read. Unarmed and Shot in the Back. And the Jeff Davis show is the best source of information on police crimes and police criminality, because the Jeff Davis show has been reporting on it for nearly 30 years. Like I say, this Williamson County, Texas up here, I haven't done any investigation of them here recently, but we did a 2-hour documentary on them back in 2001, and really unbelievable, these stories people were telling us. They just they break into people's cars and they're trying to look for things. And if they can't find something, then they'll just make something up. And then once they get you in the system, see, it's just probation, and it's just terrorizing people. And these days, I would say most counties around America aren't really unlike Williamson County, Texas, because they're all doing drug war terrorism. So, just to wrap this up, folks, Jeff Davis show is cutting edge. You're not going to hear this stuff on these cable networks. They peddle cops are heroes from after they play one video of a cop pulling out somebody from a burning car. But what the Jeff Davis show wants to know is what's their activity for the rest of the day. And the world order media, they're not telling you that story. They don't tell you the rest of the story. But the legendary Jeff Davis show, baby, does and continue and will continue. It's that simple. U.S. policing are indirectly involved in keeping the Fed bank printing with the drug war, DEA, surveillance, prisons. They're committing outright immoral and really criminal activities on people out here. Beatings, shooting and killing people, investigating themselves. These people, in my mind, are not heroes, and quite frankly, I believe America would be better without them. Particularly, at least while they're terrorizing people with the drug war. You cut the drug war off, and they would be a little bit more appropriate, from my perspective. U.S. cops kill pets. U.S. cops on drug raids or domestic disputes or whatever, they go out into houses and they kill a dog or a cat every 98 minutes. 10,000 dogs a year. Now, there's a lot of people that visit homes. FedEx, mail, cable installers, and they're not killing pets. They're not shooting dogs and cats. Speaking of cats, here's my baby Alvin Neil Davis, legendary cat. So they get away with that. They get away with killing pets. They get away with killing people. They get away with cavity searches. They get away with asset forfeiture. And they're the henchmen for the world's largest prison system in the history of mankind, financed by international bankers. Now, I don't give a shit what these people peddle on these CFR controlled cable so-called shows. Because they lie about everything else anyway. These are the same people that peddle lies, favoring bankers' wars that slaughter millions of people around the world. So why the hell would I believe them on anything? And I don't. They're either these world order media and politicians and organized religions all peddle the same thing. Endless war on terror, the great calling. Cops are great because the cops are doing the world order's dirty work. U.S. military's great because the U.S. military is doing the world order dirty work. They make the good guys the bad guys and the bad guys the good guys. We're living in a world, if it wasn't for the internet, currently the internet, there would be no news of any substance whatsoever. It would just be brainwashing, pro-war, pro-drug war, pro-cop, diversion from how the Fed Bank completely and secretly controls the U.S. economy. That's all you'd get. We're living in a time with the internet, the greatest information age of mankind, which I believe is being threatened. In fact, that's why I believe that's why you're hearing a lot of these politicians and these media hacks. Oh, we got to regulate Facebook and Twitter and social media and the internet because of conspiracy theories and shit like this, see? They only want pre-approved information. And a lot of people that use the internet aren't peddling that shit. Pro-war, pro-drug war, pro-cop, and they're exposing the Fed for what it is. So, legendary, baby. U.S. policing, ultimately, they're New World Order enforcers. By terrorizing the American public with the drug war, it also conditions the American public to believe and to accept that the state is the master. You don't own the state owns you. We can pull you over and do a cavity search on you or take your money. Conditioning. Slave to the state. So that's about it, baby. I don't buy that bullshit. Jeff Davis Show, I'm exposing the whole world order shenanigans. From the top black nobility, British royal family, to the Rothschilds and the international bankers, to the Crown Council of 13, the Committee of 300, and their international drug running, Trilateral Commission, Council on Foreign Relations, United Nations, Royal Institute of International Affairs, down to the COP, down to the World Police Enforcers and their drug wars. Jeff Davis Show, baby. Exposing them all. So with that, I hope you enjoyed this YouTube. I want to encourage you to, once again, while it's still available, because these are dangerous times we live in, Google search The Jeff Davis Show while it's still available. Currently, it's an empire of the best news, best information, best entertainment on planet Earth. You just won't get this kind of information anywhere. This is one of the things God gave me a life for, is to just cut right through the world deception and tell it like it is. And there's nothing better than the Jeff Davis Show. Nothing. It's that simple. Google Jeff Davis Show, baby. Legendary. 30 years broadcaster. After actor. Dad, husband, grandpa, Air Force veteran, star teen golfer. Just the whole package, baby. Exposing wicked world deception. War peddlers. Christmas peddlers. See, I don't do the Christmas thing. I know better. The British royal family is, though, this year. It's been reported. December 25th. Oh, they have huge Christmas trees at Buckingham Palace and all their other hundreds of mansions and estates that they have, by robbing and slaughtering people, ill-gotten gains. These people actually say that there's too many people on planet Earth. Prince William, Prince Charles, publicly written and stated. 30 years of bombing in the Middle East. Yeah, that's a good way to reduce the world population. Just annihilate people. Create an endless war on terror. Brilliantly evil. Propagate terrorists around the world. And while you bomb and starve entire nations to kill the terrorists. But you know what? Don't work on the Jeff Davis show. Don't work on the Jeff Davis show. I see right through these. They're pitiful, lying, deceptive eyes. So, U.S. policing, you can forget them. They're not going to save you. Politicians aren't going to save you. The world media is not going to save you. World religions aren't going to save you. The Jeff Davis show is providing the information for you to go and investigate and possibly save yourself. That's it. So with that, baby, no Christmas for the Jeff Davis show. I don't partake in desecration of my Savior Jesus. And George Orwell, in his book 1984, one of his quotes was, during times of universal deceit, telling the truth becomes a revolutionary act. Right here, baby. Legendary Jeff Davis show banner on a number of YouTubes and videos from previous rallies in Austin, Texas. The Jeff Davis show, baby, just performed a revolutionary act. Google Jeff Davis show while it's available. Get the information. Get the news information that the world needs. Not me. The world needs it. With that, 13 December 2018, dump Santa, love Jesus, peace out, baby.